promotional process, I was looking through the report we get from the testing company, which is a national company. And I just thought I highlighted one quick couple sentences I thought I'd read for the board and people listening. Competing for the rank of police sergeant, the 17 candidate cohort earned an average overall score of 77.4. This average overall score is an impressive 8 points higher than the overall testing norm, indicating that the candidates on the whole performed significantly better than the average cohort candidate. So that gives you an idea of the caliber of police officers in this community. I think Paul will probably talk about the interview process. Extremely qualified candidates. Many of the final candidates are here tonight, and I thank them. It's not an easy thing to do. I appreciate you coming out at the class act. Chris? If I may now.
Go ahead.
This is Officer Chris P. DiDonato. He was raised in Burlington, graduated from Burlington High School. He attended UMass Amherst, graduating in 2006 with a bachelor's degree in sociology and criminal justice. He was a member of the Massachusetts Army National Guard from 2008 to 2016, attaining the rank of infantry sergeant and team leader. Officer DiDonato was a combat veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom from August 2010 until August 2011. While deployed, he commanded the lead convoy vehicle and tasked with navigation during patrol operations in Afghanistan. He was a combat lifesaver trained and Army Combative Level 1 certified instructor. He received numerous awards and commendation while serving his country. Officer DiDonato was appointed to the Burlington PD March of 2012, and he's been assigned to the patrol division since that time. He is a department trainer in firearms and defensive tactics and a certified law enforcement fitness specialist. Officer DiDonato is a member of the Police Honor Guard and a field training officer. He is also a member of the Northeastern Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council, NIMLAC, elite SWAT team, which responds regularly to various high-profile incidents in Middlesex and Essex County. Chris is the son of Ruth and the late Daniel DiDonato. His wife, Mandy, is here along with his two children, Hannah and Isabel. I would recommend the promotion of Chris DiDonato to the rank of sergeant.
Thank you, Chief. And I'd just like to point out for the board members that amazing group of candidates that we interviewed for the position. I feel like just about anybody we interviewed would have made a great sergeant. But there was one person that stood out above all the others, and with the chief's recommendation, I wish to appoint Christopher DiDonato to sergeant in the Burlington Police Department and ask the board to waive its 15-day waiting period.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded to waive the 15-day waiting period. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0-0.
Thank you very much. Take some photos.
Nope. She's had her picture taken before, hasn't she? Thanks, gentlemen
Give them a couple of minutes.
and
Move out.
ladies. Gotta be careful saying that.
All right. Next item on the agenda is article number 095, approval, 117 South Bedford Street, purchase and sale. Mr. Sagarino?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Jim Doherty from the town's Housing Committee to present this one to us.
Jim?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. As Mr. Segarino mentioned, this regarding 117 South Bedford Street. Initially, the reason this was put on the special warrant is because last year, town meeting appropriated money to purchase this property, but at that time, the sale did not get consummated, and therefore I assumed that the money went back into the general fund. But upon further research, what I have found out is I was incorrect, and that the money is still available and therefore was appropriated by town meeting. Therefore, we intend to go forward with the acquisition of this property. I hope that you gentlemen and Mr. Morandi as well enter into a purchase and sale that the sellers have signed to acquire this property, but we do not have to request money from town meeting this year. But I certainly would like to go back and update them briefly on the status and let them know that their action last year is coming to fruition just a little later than anticipated.
Jim, could you just please update the board what we'll do once we gain control of this property?
Sure, and that's really the key. The key is we want to gain control. As a lot of you know, particularly Selectman Runyon, Mr. Hogan, this property is something that we've been working on for quite a while. It's been a kind of a nuisance to the community down there, if you will. It hasn't been utilized in conformity to its original intent. And it's just a good opportunity for us. The house is in tremendous amount of need, and we know there's a lot of people in the town and outside the town that are looking for affordable housing. So our intent is to acquire it and reposition it. We hope. We've had some preliminary discussions with Habitat for Humanity. We have not committed to anyone. We know we have a lot of corporations in the town that are looking to get involved in something like this, both from a donation standpoint as well as in-kind donations, whether it be materials or labor. And our goal is to limit any additional expenses on the town's part other than acquiring the property, and then, as I say, reposition it and get it back out to a needy family.
Any questions, Bob?
There's work that has to be done on this, correct?
I would say, Bob, best description would be total gut rehab. I guess the good news is it's a slab ranch. As you know, all of those, I think 7 or 8 houses out there are. You know, ideally, it would be nice probably to be able to save the frame, but there's no doubt, I would say it's probably at a minimum gut rehab.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jim, once again, I just want to thank you. I know this has been a long process, and I know Mr. Tegas is familiar with this address as well. Long overdue. So I look forward to getting that back on the market and in the hands of a responsible unit owner. So, but thank you very much. I know it's been very tedious and difficult process for you, and thank you for your help in resolving it.
I appreciate that, and thank you, and thank the board in general for your support over the years.
Jim, I do have a question. After, say this gets approved and passed, and we're ready to move on to the next step, what is the next step?
The next step is really, well, you know, as probably most of you know, when things come out of a foreclosure, which this property is under foreclosure, by the way, but we hope to, you know, work through that. There are occupants in the property. We're not sure what their legal status in there is, quite frankly. And the initial step is to, again, get control, get it vacated, and see what we're dealing with there. Ultimately, we would like to get this probably, if we acquire it sometime July, I would say probably ideally, we'd be looking at fourth quarter at best, more likely first quarter of '20 to get this done. We will do a lottery, as we do on other properties. We would strongly suggest any Burlington residents who are interested, make sure they avail themselves to it. This is an ownership property, just as a little plug. We also have rental housing that's being built that residents of the town should avail themselves to. If they need help with that, they can contact the town administrator's office or selectman's office. But essentially, Jim, we haven't identified the exact funding source, if you will, to complete it afterwards. But thoroughly convinced between the generosity of people in the community as well as corporations that do very well here and who have been very generous. And as I say, I think a lot of them are looking to get their people out to do some work in the community, and that could be a mechanism, whether it's through Habitat or someone else, to kind of harness some of that labor and keep the rehab costs low.
I'm sure with the
No,
history.
it's a little vague.
No, that's not
We have a
vague.
big picture, we just don't have all the nuts and bolts in
I'm
order.
sure with the history our residents and corporations have as far as chipping in for the town, you're probably pretty spot on with that suggestion.
And just to clarify for the board that the purchase price, this will come from existing affordable housing funds that have been set aside. So there's no additional taxpayer money required in this. The funds are already available and required to be used for affordable housing, so.
Anything further? Any motion to approve?
So,
Mr. Chairman, can I just ask, I got some notes here from
Oh,
Benny.
certainly, I'm sorry.
So what we're doing here is you're going to accept the purchase and sale. It's been already reviewed and approved by town council, and then you're going to want to authorize me to sign that on your behalf. So just two things, accept it and then authorize me to execute it.
Anything
all right,
further?
I'll make the motion that we accept the purchase and sale agreement at 117 South Bedford Street.
Second.
Moved by Bob, seconded by Nick. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 400, Paul.
Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to authorize Mr. Sagarino to sign that on our behalf.
Do we need a second vote on that?
Yeah, if I didn't catch the language of the first one, so just
Oh, well,
just to be
just as a precaution. All right, Nick is making the motion.
Second.
Seconded by Bob to authorize Mr. Sagarino to move forward. All those in favor?
Thank
Opposed?
you very
400.
much.
Item number 096, approval. I'm sorry,
Thank you, Jim.
I'm sorry.
Good night, thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Mr. Sagarino, did you want to take the next one?
Yes, we're about to head into executive session. I'll read the legalese that we need to read, and then we'll be asking the board for a roll call vote on that. And just so BCAT and everyone else is aware, our intention is to return as Board of Selectmen after the executive session. So, to vote on the issues that we're going to discuss in executive session. So, the legal language is we'd like the Board of Selectmen to convene to executive session with 48 hours having been given in order to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation for outstanding union contracts, BMEA, DPW, AMP, Fire, Police Patrol, Police Command, and part-time plan, as an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, with the Board of Selectmen adjourning from the executive session and reconvening in an open session for the purpose of taking a vote on said issues. So can I have a roll call vote, please? Selectman Priest?
Aye.
Selectman Runyon?
Aye.
Selectman Tigas?
Aye.
And Selectman Hogan?
Yes, aye.
Thank you, 4-0.
Adjourn to executive session, and we'll be back.